So my pick for the East is that I'd like to talk about is the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just curious to know what everybody's opinion is on this team right now. I find it really interesting that they've been doing so well without KD. I'm not sure. I think he might have came back, right? By now?
He was there for some of it, and then it was a hamstring thing. But now it came out today. It actually came out like an hour before we started recording that he's not playing at the All-Star game. So he's going to be out through the break.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So,
but he's not playing, and they already replaced him with who replaced him? Sabonis got the spot, right?
I'm
maybe.
not sure on that one.
Sabonis got the spot. Yeah, it'll be on your screen, but Sabonis got the spot.
Yes,
and Tatum was replaced. Tatum's the starter now. So for Kevin Durant, my question is Kevin Durant still going to pick the team or what? Who's picking the fucking team?
Yeah, he should be able to still pick the team.
He should be picking the team. His brain still works.
Mm-hmm.
Like he should definitely be picking the team. Also, he should coach now if he's not going to play.
Because I mean, what they'll probably do if they don't let him pick the team, they'll probably just pick whoever was second in the East at All-Star votes. So is it Giannis?
No, I'm like I would be kind of bummed if that happened. I hope it's not Giannis.
This is the fucking.
I want to see a new person build a team.
Yeah, because it sucked when Giannis did that shit.
It sucked. Admittedly, it sucked. Giannis was a savage to James Harden, but it sucked.
Yeah, that was funny. Straight up disrespected him.
Speaking of James Harden, James Harden is the best point guard in the NBA. Are we okay with that?
No.
Who's better than him as a point guard?
Steph Curry.
Disagree at this point of being a point guard.
Chris
I think Steph Curry, if you were to tell me Steph Curry or Kyrie Irving at what they do, I think Steph is here at what he does and Kyrie is like here. Like I think that gap is about where it is. But between Harden and Curry at being a pure point guard, Harden's 25 and 11 every single night.
Yo, I have to laugh at this shit because this is the same guy who's averaged 35 plus for the last 4 years.
Yeah, I don't care about scoring. I like the assists. I like the 25 and 11 more than the 35 a game. I've always been like that. You know that.
So for one, it's much easier to average 24 and 11 if you're playing in a team who has Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
But you just said it yourself. He's been doing that without KD. It's just been those two guys in the backcourt.
Yeah. So do you think James Harden has been the best point guard in the league for the last 5 years?
No. He hasn't played point guard for the last 5 years. My opinion. Like he could. It's different. You're getting me confused. You're getting me very confused. You're getting me confused. There's a position point guard, which is what you're thinking of. I'm thinking of the pure point guard, the guy who can score or pass and make decisions. I think he's the best at it this season. Definitely. And I feel like it's not really that close either. Like he's got the best offensive system. He's got the green light to just make whatever decision he wants.
You just meant the best at that position.
No. I was trying to say pure point guard. Like the guy who is most likely to make the best decision. He's got that.
I don't know, man. Like I'm just not ready to say. I mean, I guess if you're just talking about I don't know, the system he's in or who's
Curry to me has more like two guard skills. Like I said with the Kyrie Curry thing.
Yeah, but Curry does a lot of little other shit that sets people up and
and Harden does not. I know Harden does. Especially this season.
I mean,
he's been great.
He's
by the
around it. I don't know. It's not really.
I'm not gonna pretend somebody isn't impressing me when they are.
Don't get me wrong. He's impressing me. I just don't think he's the best point guard in the league. I think he's in a good situation right now. But to say he's the best point guard in the league is saying that
Magic Johnson was in a good situation his whole career. They're all the best point guards you could say that about. Steve Nash when he was in Phoenix. Sure.
But it's
all part of the game. It's all part of the deal.
I don't know, man. I'm not. Because it's like there's like guys that just like I guess it's the system around them kind of, but the whole thing is like Curry's system is all broken right now.
I agree, yeah. But I'm just I don't think
if Curry had his system as it should be, yeah. I'm thinking Curry is the best point guard in the league.
I just don't look at Curry as a pure point guard. Whereas I'm looking at Harden right now, it's like this guy is playing the purest point guard. Like it's just I'm very impressed.
I guess if pure point guard is just like what, like doing pick and rolls and stuff like that, is that what you like?
Getting his teammates involved, being active, just on the court, being active on the bench when he's just on the bench, getting people like.
Well, I mean, if we're really talking about that, I'm really just Steph. If he had his system as it should be with Clay there, I think. You wouldn't say that. I really do think you wouldn't say that because the other stuff that Steph does, like Steph would dribble the ball up the court, pass it to Draymond, and then run all around the court. Everyone probably looks at that as him trying to set up his own shot. No, people literally focus on Steph when he's running all around the court, and then Klay Thompson might pop open, or someone might cut to the basket and get an easy layup. That shit happens all the time.
Who do you think's a better scorer?
Who? In terms of James Harden and Steph Curry?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. James Harden.
Wow! See? This is why I know that you don't understand what I'm saying, because I think Curry is a way better scorer than James Harden. But I think Harden is a way better point guard. That's just what I knew you were going to say that. I was like, he knows.
So what are you saying?
You know what I mean.
Scores more efficiently? Like you're just saying who. Because I don't get that, because James Harden
the John Stockton role the best, and it is fucking Harden.
Well, who makes that? What makes that the point guard? Like
because that's the prototypical point guard by definition.
I don't know. Because point guard is someone who's able to initiate the offense. That's what a point guard is.
So it's a way looser definition than what I'm using. I'm tightening it to.
Well, who
fits a certain mold?
Style.
Harden's doing this style the best in the league, and the best I've seen in a while.
But that's a style. That's not, to me. That's not exactly what a point guard should do. Like,
well, that's your opinion, but that's not. This is the style, though. I'm not wrong.
If we talk, if we saying that just that style, I'd say you're 100% right.
Yeah, and I didn't. But the reason why I'm so adamant about it, and the reason why I bring it up, is because I just didn't think I would be saying that at this point. I didn't expect 25 on 11.
Yeah, I agree with that. Who would have ever thought for Harden to be like, you know what? I'm gonna be the guy to give the ball away and set it all up for everybody instead of being the one to score. Like that, to me, that kind of just shows his mentality and how he truly wants to win. And I appreciate stuff like that. So
he wants to win so bad, he basically put his fucking reputation on the line and bombasted his way out of Houston because Kevin Durant called and said, if you do this, my team will get you.
And that's the type of shit that makes I can't kill him if in his career he never wins another championship. Like that like in our group chat, remember when we had that huge freaking argument about how great Harden is, and I was like, just because he didn't win a championship doesn't mean he's not one of the greatest players ever. And we had a huge. It was not. I don't think I was having an argument with specifically you, but it wasn't me.
But that's okay. Yeah. I know I was there in spirit.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, because to me, little shit like this matters. Like if he's doing fuckboy shit and just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna just get the most money," which he has, and then I'm also like, I don't care if you get me good players or whatever. Like all I'm in it is for the money. Like Carmelo Anthony did, like shit like that. Makes you be like, I don't really give a fuck that he didn't win a championship and he's a bum for it. And like people feel about Carmelo. But him doing shit like this is more like, look, I'm willing to do anything. He played defense last year. Everyone is giving him shit about not being able to play defense. And then he gets traded to the Nets and they're like, how the hell is it going to work? Everybody's going to want the ball. And he's like, nah, bro, I'm going to be the fucking point guard and we lit. Like, so like shit like that, it makes me a fan. I'm a fan of that. You're still all pussies to me. Like You, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, all of y'all that jump ship to win championships, LeBron James, all of y'all pussy to me because I grew up in the era with Kobe Bryant where he ain't do that shit. But all right, my bad.
We've seen these guys. That's funny that you
throw that in there. You know what we do out here? We hug the Lakers.
But hold on, we've seen all of these guys. We've seen two of these guys succeed in the biggest situation.
Yes.
Only one of them really succeeded with their back against the wall. The person I trust the most in the playoffs right this second is Kyrie Irving.
Facts.
And I'm not saying he might be the third best, but he's the guy I trust the most in the playoffs if he's healthy. Because
it's funny that whole dynamic of that team.
He has already shown his composure in those moments. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where KD, he probably has the composure, but he also was on the best team every single time.
Yeah, it's like like Kyrie was down 3-1. Like Sue Surf said,
that's what I'm saying.
4 threes. That shit is fire. He was doing it. He did that. Like Kyrie really did that. I was mad as fuck while he was doing it too. Like because I like Kyrie so much at that time.
Yeah.
But I was like, bro, why you gotta be LeBron's teammate though? Like, why are we doing this? Like, I don't have to be like that. Huh?
Why are we putting LeBron in this spot? Everyone's going to
be exactly. Like, fuck this. He's supposed to be losing these chips, all right? I want him to be 2-5 at this point because he was like 3-4 after that. I want him to be 2-5. Then no one can ever talk to him about my GOAT Kobe. And then now
we're here. Now he's got 4.
Bullshit.
And 1 for your team. So you just sit there and think about it.
Yeah, which I'm happy about that. I'm cool with that. Whatever. I let you. It makes me be able to say LeBron's the second best player ever and shit like that.
But do you think these guys will be able to keep their composure in the playoffs? A lot like you were talking about Utah. I feel more worried about this team's mental psyche than Utah's. And I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I can't explain it. But there's something about these guys that I think if the pressure was on and things weren't going their way exactly, I would be nervous about the sweat and the look. They would look at their teammates like they're deer in headlights.
I kind of see what you're saying. Yeah. The whole thing is, I really do think Harden's hungry as fuck right now. And he's like,
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah,
I just think he wants to prove people wrong.
Huh?
I think he wants to prove people wrong.
Well, but his main thing is like he wants to be known as one of the greatest all time. Like,
sure.
And you can't be. Like, to me, you can be one of the greatest all time, but you're just not going to be looked at in that light if you don't win a championship. Like,
I don't think you can be a top 10 NBA player all time without at least 1 ring, probably 2, but at least.
Yeah, no, it is 2. I don't have anybody in my top 10 that doesn't have more than 2.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't leaving anybody out because I was thinking about it. But even even a guy like Hakeem Olajuwon who's on the fence, he's got 2. Like,
exactly.
Everybody in that position, you're right, has 2 champions.
You kind of get into that Dirk position almost. Like all right, at the farthest you could get is like Dirk.
But even Dirk went from like a not top 50 player to a top 50 player with the chip.
Exactly.
And especially the run he went on to get there.
Yeah.
But here was the epiphany I had about guys like Harden and just like the way he went about his business. And I was looking at a guy like Russell Wilson in football. He's asked for a trade. His team has asked for a trade, whatever. And I first heard about that, and I've heard a couple of other guys come out with trades in both leagues, but mainly football right now because it's the off season. Yeah. And I just thought about like Russell Wilson, right? If Russell Wilson plays for Seattle, maybe he'll get to the Super Bowl. But like, can you blame a guy for wanting to be put in the best possible position? I don't know how much I blame the player for stuff like that. Now, the way you go about it, not great, right? But like, look at what we just said about James Harden. James Harden could go from outside of the top 20 to in the top 20 with 1 ring.
Yeah.
Like, that matters.
That is a fact. I would totally see. Because to me, I have James Harden as a top 50 player in my mind.
I'd have to think about it. But just because I haven't looked at the totality of, I haven't really broke down his legacy so much. But I know it would put him in the top 20 considering the scoring championships. He's won a Sixth Man of the Year. He's won an MVP. He's won, like, if he gets a Finals MVP, how many guys in the history of the league will have that? Pretty short. A Sixth Man of the Year and a Finals MVP and an MVP.
And
very short.
And he was top
might just be him.
in 3 straight MVPs or some shit like that.
True, but he might be the only one that could stake claim to that. But I don't know if this team. First of all, they can't stop anybody.
I don't know though. That's what because that was one thing that I highlighted on that note because I wanted to make sure they held the Lakers to 98 points. Sure, it was without
a lot of guys. And your team has not been doing great scoring at all. But
the whole thing is even the worst score. Like they had I think the Cleveland Cavaliers scored like 130 points on these people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you have teams like that who couldn't score. So and you held the Lakers to 98. Sure, maybe it wasn't. It's not the craziest thing because AD was injured, stuff like that. But are 114 points, which is decent. Like you could, to me, and seeing them win close games too. It was against the Clippers. They won twice by 4.
Right.
They beat the Lakers by 11. And they didn't have KD during this time. My whole thing is, let's say if KD was here and James Harden was there, or like how it's been KD was there and Kyrie was there, but James Harden was injured. Like I would feel like that wasn't. That's not gonna do much for the team because you need Harden and Kyrie to mix in. But for them to be winning with Kyrie and Harden, and my whole thing is once you add KD in, it's not hard. This guy has scored freaking 30 points on 13 shot attempts. Like he doesn't need a lot because he's that fucking efficient. Yeah. So to me, it's just crazy.
My question is, do you think the Nets are like the Pittsburgh Steelers? Another football reference. Do you think they're like the Pittsburgh Steelers in the sense that, do you think they play down to their competition? Or just play to the level of their competition? Because it seems like they're, let's see if we can get some of their wins and losses and who they were too.
I think, to be honest though, I feel like a lot of teams, like in the NBA, that happens much more. The only team that I feel like that doesn't happen to really is the Milwaukee Bucks. I always feel like they blow out when they face bad teams. They blow them out. Like
they do what they're supposed to do. Yeah, exactly. I could see that.
But I always that's why.
So they lost to the Pistons.
My bad. When I get into the gambling, I look at teams and I never bet on. That's the reason for basketball specifically. I never bet on spreads because you don't know what a team's going to give you, if they're going to be serious or if they're going to come dicking around. Especially before this whole COVID shit happened, you would have to be able to bet and look and like, oh, they're going to Miami. Yeah, you don't really want to bet because the players are going out and dicking around, and like that just happens throughout the regular season because they're not going to give it. It's not like football. In football, you have to give it your all every single week in order to have a chance. Like in basketball, you could dick around one day and then the next day and then win the next 3 games. That's fine. Like so because there's so many more games that you play.
Yeah. So their losses are to Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Not great. Right? Then they got one to Philadelphia. That was a definitive beatdown. Toronto, right? Toronto's next. Yeah, that was a closer one, but still, it's just look at the scores. 123. What do we got here? 124 scored. 122. It's like if any of them have an off night shooting, they're fucked.
Yep.
It doesn't happen very often, clearly, but I just think that's a dangerous game. 135 to 147. So they dropped 2 to Cleveland, basically because they didn't fucking shoot perfect. Like, because you know what you have to do to put up 135 points and lose a game.
Yeah. Like, and that's my whole thing is like that's what I was always nervous with about with them was their defense. But I think this is the a kind of team that during a playoff series they could just hunker down and lock up, or not lock up, but like play enough defense to, because all they really need to do is just play enough defense because their offense got them. To me, it's the total opposite of what the Utah Jazz is, because the Utah Jazz to me is like they lock up on defense. That's what they're really good at. Yeah. But they need to figure out the offense. In my mind, especially in a 7-game series, I think that it's tougher for them because of their offense. And I think
at least Utah has positive offensive metrics that they can work with, whereas Brooklyn, their defense is just like bottoms, 28th, 29th, right? 20, like a lot of 20s, not a lot of ones down here. There's one for opponent points a game. That's about one. They're number one in that. But turnover, they don't force a lot of turnovers, right? Like, there's just not a whole lot of good things going their way defensively, so they have to be number one across the board here. Like, they have to, like, in a lot of things they are number one, but they absolutely have to be the number one. I just think historically, and when we look at their entire coaching staff, we know that they score a lot of points and they don't have any rings. And it's like history. You're supposed to learn from history. You're supposed to take history and go, all right, I know that I do this stuff really well, but let's try and work on the stuff that I don't do well to make the team better. Fuck that, they said. We're just going with the two best ball handlers in the league in Kyrie and James Harden, and then the greatest one-on-one scorer of all time in Kevin Durant. Like, and just this is what we're gonna do. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know if this is a championship winning formula, because you could say that was Golden State, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was a lot of ball movement. It was a lot of creating chaos, right? A lot of transition stuff. And it flowed super well. You know what I mean? They were fucked when you had to go to isolation.
So do you have them as pretenders?
I want to have them. You're right. This is the exact opposite of the Jazz, because I want to have them as contenders, and I don't think I can.
Yeah.
Because of what I'm saying.
So my next question, because I think this is just to get into the psyche of Russell Broderick.
Russell Westbrook Broderick.
So
Brody.
Who do you think would win in a 7-game series? The Brooklyn Nets or the Utah Jazz?
Utah. I think it would be in 6. Unless the guys on the outside don't make their shots. But against Brooklyn, everybody makes their shots.
Yeah.
So that's not really something I think about. I think I would take Utah in that situation.
Yeah.
That would be a crazy finals.
Yeah, I think I got Nets in 6.
I think the goal of Brooklyn in that matchup would be, how can we get Gobert on Durant? How many ways can we?
That's what I'm thinking, and it's going to be so easy to do it. And if not,
do it successfully, then I guess you're right. But
it doesn't even matter. It's how can we get Gobert on Durant? How can we get him on Kyrie? How can we get him on Harden? You got 3 guys who are just gonna attack him, and you're gonna make him get out of the series. Like you have to, because it's like, all right, are we gonna let these guys score 50 on him all the time, or? And
that's the thing. That's right. That's the thing. The reason why I brought up Durant specifically is because I know he plays in those big positions where if he'll be the roll man on the pick and roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I think Gobert will be like switch. It might be an easier switch to get on Durant, where I have seen Harden get on him in playoff series where he was very successful. So like, I understand that what you're saying from that,
because then you take out and this is just how I look at it, like in terms of basketball, because then their core strength, their defense, is now not a strength anymore. You literally just you put them in very uncomfortable situations consistently. That's what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, but it would have to. But they can't get put in situations like this one. Where is this game? I just brought it up. Fucking the one where they had. There we go. 140 like this. 146, 149. Where I'm sure they're doing exactly what you're saying with like Marcin Gortat, or whoever the fucking center is down there, and I think it's like Hachimura or something like that. But 146, 149, and because you can't do anything on the other end, you have to at some point. Like
but then the question is, who do you think is gonna be more? Who's gonna think is gonna score you more points? These three motherfuckers who are scoring great. And
I'm just saying, like
some of the catches guys in the world too.
I don't know if you can win 16 games. Like, I don't know if you can do that. I don't know against the really good teams that know, like, okay, as long as we don't let them get layups, like, and we just keep them to a jump shooting team, nobody wins like that. Nobody, not even the Warriors. The Warriors didn't win like that. They won by fucking, and I brought this up 5 seconds ago, but I'm bringing it up again. They changed it up. They had a lot of ball movement. They had cuts to the basket with the unbelievable shooting. Yeah. And that's and with unbelievable defense.
But I think I'm pretty sure because in a 7-game series, they don't play that bad of defense to where it's gonna, like, the stats show it probably right now. But I think when you're going against a team who there's a reason that it's aren't they the second or third seed in the league in the, like, there's a reason that they're doing that is because people can't keep up with their scoring. And when you face a team in a 7-game series, at some point you just know them. You're like, all right, I know they're gonna do this. I know they're gonna do that.
Right.
The only thing is, once you know these guys, you still have to go against Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. And I think now that James Harden and Kyrie are figuring it out together, once KD gets put in the mix, it's done. It's like you have the perfect formula of an unstoppable offense.
Yes, but a wise man once told me that no team has ever won a championship without good defense.
Yes, I agree. But I think if you could bring in decent defense with that offense, if they could go top 15, if they could be a top 15 kind of defense, they can 100% win a championship like that.
I don't see that happening, considering right now they're 28th.
Yeah.
Like, if they can get up to 20th, that would be nice, but I doubt it.
I want to see what. I
don't think they're worried about it. I really believe that they're just like 0506 Suns. I just think they're trying to run people out of the gym.
I don't think so. I think what their plan is to do is they're like, I'm not gonna play fucking hard defense, and it's freaking January right now. I mean February right now. We have to try to win a championship in 2 months. Once we start getting closer, I guarantee you, one of the narratives is, wow, is Brooklyn's defense like starting to actually look good now?
I don't know. I don't see LeBron James on that team, so I don't know if that's how it works for anybody else besides LeBron James.
Oh no, I have
the only guy I've seen.
That's not the Spurs did it for.
And I doubted him during those seasons too. When what do you call it? Yeah, but even the Spurs were great defensively during the regular season. Like, this is the part that
but they would amp up.
Keep missing the fact that Brooklyn
go to another level
at defense. They are not guarding anyone. They're trying to score 130 points and hold you to 115.
But I just don't see Harden and D'Antoni going from, hey, last year we wanted to show that we will play defense to try to win, and knowing that was important for them to win.
Yeah.
And Harden clearly showed a much higher effort at defense last year and played pretty decent defense. It wasn't the greatest in the league, but it was good enough to where you could say, okay, there was definitely an improvement on his defense.
They were stealing games in the bubble. It was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So my whole thing is, I could totally. They're not stupid. Like, these are all people who've been in the league for almost 10 years. Like, they're not dumb.
They're winners, though. There's only 2 of them that are winners, and they're winners based on weird circumstances.
Okay, exactly. If Harden saying, I'm not gonna be the best scorer in the league anymore, and I'm gonna be Magic Johnson wannabe, because I want to win a championship. If that doesn't show that he's in his mindset, that's a mindset of a winner.
Yeah. Like, I think they need more defense. They need to look in the buyout market when that comes out. They need to look at getting different defensive guys that'll change the philosophy. So that
another interesting question: do you think James Harden right now is the modern day Magic Johnson?
I feel didn't we start with this? Didn't I start with this saying that he was the best pure point guard in basketball? Didn't I start with that whole?
Oh, but I just want to draw the comparison of, because people would look at it and be like, Magic Johnson couldn't shoot like Harden. But Magic Johnson played in a completely different era where it was more towards the basket and
yeah, but also like LeBron James seemed to do it fine. LeBron James, the only difference between LeBron James and Magic Johnson, especially earlier LeBron, now LeBron plays a totally different game, but earlier LeBron would finish with a dunk and Magic would finish with a layup. It's about the difference. Like, hellacious in transition. Magic's the best passer that's ever lived. And I think there's a lot of that. But if you were to put their stats side by side between Harden and Magic Johnson, like
this year's Harden, yeah.
Yeah, I think they'd be pretty close.
Yeah, what I was just trying to say there is, like, it's how you would look at, or I guess people won't look at it now because they know Harden for who he is. But with Magic Johnson, with his his way of playing and his way of scoring, that just modern day version will be a better shooter, just scoring in a different way, but still being a willing passer, which Harden is this year. He's never been before. So, well, not never been, but.
What do you think, Lynn?
I think that the Nets team are contenders.
What do you think about Dario's comparison to Magic Johnson?
I don't like it. That's because I love Magic Johnson and I hate James Harden. So.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay, that's hilarious.
I think it's cockamamie bullshit. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
But I just wanted to pull up the season really quick. Because it is. If you look at their stats, it's pretty similar for, like, pick a season for Magic.
His MVP season, the 87 season.
86-87 or 87-88?
86-87.
Thank you. It's pretty close. It's pretty damn close. Harden's got more rebounds. Magic's got a little more assists. Field goal percentage is a little better for Magic, but obviously not taking nearly the threes. What's that?
We both don't play defense for shit.
Word. But Magic just wasn't good. If Magic had someone his own size, it was a little easier. But against quick guards, no, he's not. That was the deal. But fucking James Harden isn't exactly a defensive stalwart, despite us complimenting his defense earlier. I just think that they need an anchor defensively. I thought it was going to be DeAndre Jordan, but clearly that's not fucking working. And I don't know. I would like them to make the finals because I think it would be entertaining.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that foundation that they have has never made it there. They just haven't. Like we've seen that a couple of times throughout history. And it ironically started with their coaching staff.
Yo, this same year, but going into that, bringing NFL back, because we like to dabble in some NFL gayness.
Dabble.
This same year, there's never been a team to go to the Super Bowl as a home team and win it, and it happened. This could be the very first year ever that this happens. The year of the weirdness.
The year of the weird shit. That's what you're saying? I feel like that already happened with Miami making the finals.
No, I don't think so.